Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Robert Chun, and this is May 31st, 2024. About myself, I'm a Korean-born male, born September 20, 1962 in Seoul, Korea, with my father being Yoon Bong Chun and my mother being Park Sun Hee. And I have three younger sisters, Yurim, Seong, and John, and my youngest brother Jay. We came to America in 1972 in July. I've been here since then, and I am currently 61 years old. I'm a business consultant living in Los Angeles, and I live with my wife Jean. I have no kids, but I do have a 14-year-old dog who makes me get up in the morning at 6 a.m. for a walk every morning, no matter what, and 11 p.m. no matter what. And I become her back leg because of arthritis. So I become stronger as a result. Anyway, I'm here to answer a couple of questions so that those people who are curious about me in the future can find out about me and find out what it was like to be here in this moment as Robert Chun. And here to ask questions for me today, the two questions are to be asked is by Mr. Jamie Donalds. Mr. Donalds, sir.
John, question one. When were you the happiest
I
and
was
why?
I was the most happiest when I was 7.5 years old. Usually, my dad would be drinking with his buddies in one of the rooms. Late at night, I'll be listening to him telling stories. Some of them about Korean War at the time. So 60, 62, 63. I think I was like 60, 60, 68. Anyway, 1968. And I was listening to them. They were telling fun stories, at least it was. Some are lawful. But they were rip-roaring drunk, having a good time. And then I'll fall asleep. And I would get up early in the morning. Right now, at like 6 or 5:30, my dad would say, "잠깐만, 가자. Just let's go." And so we would go down the hill, cold, hot, doesn't matter. And there'll be a little movable shack. And he would have this, stew, which is for hangover stew, basically. But I think that's the most delicious thing in the world. I get my own little bowl. And I hold my hand walking down the hill to that place. And my mom will watch me and says, "Be careful." And that was my happiest time of all because that's when everything was growing, the world was safe, and everything was good because I had my dad's hand. And at that moment in time, my dad was God. And well, he could do nothing wrong. He protected me from everything. And it was the most happiest moment of my life.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're welcome. I have a second question for you.
Okay.
So tell us about where you grew up.
I grew up in Seoul, Korea, at Changchung-dong, which is a part of Seoul where there's the hills and there's a park. And I grew up when there were a lot of construction going on. So this is 63 to 71. Everywhere I go, there'll be something will getting built. So there were so the whole Han River was still dirt and whatnot. The homes were small, but for me it was heaven. And there were about nine of us, and we used to run around the neighborhood, construction sites, whatever. And we used to play in the sands. They would have these mounds of sands, like 10 foot tall. But for us, it was a playground. So we used to make holes in caves and hide and stuff like that. And then we'll get, pushed away with the adults. And then our houses had little walls, which for us was really high, but it was really like a 6 foot, 7 foot walls. And it had like a little 12-inch walkway. And us little kids would just walk around like little monkeys. And the rooftops had these little shingles. So what happened is we would go from a wall to the rooftops and then get into the second story of people's homes. And so around the neighborhood, we were considered little monkeys. And an old man would chase us and says, "Little monkey, get the hell away from here," you know. And so we had a good time. That was the most fun time of all. And we used to scare the old ladies, and they would chide us and would come to our homes and tell mom like, they did something like both scare them and stuff like that. And we used to play a lot of marbles, and we play a lot of cards. We used to hit a lot of cards, and we would win these marbles, and we would have prize of marbles, with the little shapes and colors. And we didn't have a bunch of bookstores then. We had a reading room, so for 25 won, you could read 3 books. Now I read 4 because I read really fast, and the kids would gather. So to me, it was the most fun time of all. And we could go to any neighborhood ladies and eat our fill. And my mom cooked fabulous foods with my nannies. And I remember being chased, and then school became something different though, because I went to Seoul Sadebuguk Elementary School, and I won by the lottery because you couldn't. It's a private school. I remember the first time wearing uniforms, how stiff it was, and how hard it was, and then how it was. And growing up, I was very regimented because my dad was in military intelligence in Korean War. And I remember following his orders. And the first day of school, believe it or not, this big kid came to me and says, "Are you new here? Is your first day?" I go, "Yes, yes, sir." "Well, this school is run by me. So you have to follow me." And he beat me up. So I'm standing there with bloody nose, and kids are avoiding me or helping me with my pain. It's like, what the hell happened? Anyway, so the first day went okay. Other than that, my face looked puffy. I went back home, and my dad, I said, "Dad, this is a weird school. You sent me to this private school, but this kid came to me and beat the hell out of me. And I don't understand. I didn't know, what did you do?" I didn't know what to do. I was too stunned because he was so fast. He said, "Seokbong, you're gonna go and beat the kid up next tomorrow. This is my order. You cannot be my son and beat him up like this." So what happened next day? Classroom will start, and then I'll go hour into it. "Sir, I gotta do something for my dad. Can I leave, please?" So I will go from the first grade to the fourth grade up to across the hill, and I will knock on the classroom. I went to the teacher and, "Sir, I'm sorry, my dad's have to do something. So I have to do something." He goes like, "Well, Mr. Chun said that. I guess it was important." I said, "Excuse me, sir, could you have him come out and talk to me?" I was like, so I went out to the hallway. The guy standing, he goes like, "What do you want?" So I said to him, "I don't want to do this, but this is the job I have to do. It's for my dad." And I surprise attacked him and overpowered him, just started beating him up nonstop. So he was on the ground. I'm just hitting him, just nonstop. And teacher came out and says, "What are you doing?" "Sir, I'm doing a task for my dad." And he's like, "What?" He says, "He told me to beat him up. So I'm doing it right now." And so everybody's talking about this crazy kid. And my dad got called and says, "Mr. Chun, did you tell him to beat him up?" "Well, I kind of did, but not quite." And let me look at the other kid. It's like, boom, that was my name. Um, Apologies to the kid. "I'm sorry." "Good. Let's go home." I go home. He goes, "Bob, you did good. Next, don't let him ever hit you again. But don't tell people I said that. And don't follow my words so exactly." "But Dad, you taught me to follow the words exactly." Anyway, so it got me in trouble later because he would say things haphazardly. And me, being a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid, would just simply follow orders. Like, it was like, "Dad, can I go see grandma?" "Sure." That was it. Now, what I did is I took a bicycle, went across 12 miles to see grandma. And so the whole family went nuts. Like, where the hell is this kid? And shut up at grandma's door. Things like that. So I was a very literal kid growing up. I was literally a kid, and I was very literal. Anyway, so those are what it's like to be growing up with everybody in this town where everything is growing. And you walk down the street, and there would always be a new building, there'll be whole new people. It was the beginning of a city. That's what it was like for me growing up, living inside of a structure, a military father with a fun, interesting situations. Um, let's see what else. And foods were wonderful, and there were street vendors everywhere. And when I went back to Korea, I left there was when I was 8. Went back for the first time at 18, and my Korea was gone. Those land with the small homes were all replaced by apartment condos, 10 stories, 12 stories tall. And I said to myself, my Korea is gone. Excuse me. My Korea is gone. But 2 days later, at 5:30 in the morning, 6 a.m., there were these bells ringing. I said, what the hell's going on? He says, well, we live in a high rise now, but there's little cars coming by. What is this for? This is for dry cleaning. So if you get dry cleaning, you go there and drop a dry cleaning. A few days later, more bells. What the hell's this one? It's for watermelons. It's a watermelon salesperson. So what I realized was my Korea was alive and well, but it wasn't, on flat ground, it's above. And when I was walking down the stairway, one lady was talking to another person and says, oh, the lady at 2C is having trouble with such and such. And that person said to myself, God, Korean gossip channel is alive and well. So I just want you to know, my Korea lives but transformed. My Korea of fun childhood and discovery is alive and well, but it's been technologically changed. And my little kids, the bus where I used to go, putting coins into machines. These little kids have phones now. They go like this: "Sir, click with a phone image, pay for buses." But they still say, "Bus driver, thank you." You know. So what I want you to know is that uh, the Korea I grew up in is completely different, completely. But the people are just the same. So that's what I'll share. Thank you.